to my channel. And as you can see, I'm here with friends. We are doing our holiday version of the social review. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but for now, I am Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches. And next.
I am Russ from Quilt Meets World.
And
And
oh, you're doing it, yeah.
Walter. I'm Walter from The Idiot Quilter. Actually,
Friends, we are doing our holiday version of the social. Go ahead, Walter, again.
okay. I'm Walter. I'm the husband of the Idiot Quilter.
My turn. Okay,
Yes.
and I am the idiot. So, as you all know, Stephen from the Idiot Quilter, Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter. Although I never use the Bland Designs title much. So
Yes.
it's just the Idiot Quilter.
So we started the social review. Actually, it was Stephen's idea earlier this year, but we got a little bit worn out from doing it every month. So we took a break, but Stephen contacted us and said, hey, let's resurrect this for the holidays. So here we are.
Actually, I didn't contact them and suggest it. I said, we're going to do this, aren't we? Yes.
Yes. He twisted our arm.
Yeah.
So we've got some things to share with you guys tonight. We're going to share with you our favorite YouTube channels, and you will be surprised to know that I don't think any of them actually are quilting channels, which is interesting. Well, there's a couple sewing, I think, but I'm not sure if they're straight quilting channels.
Well, I didn't think it'd be fair to put, Stephanie Stitches and the Idiot Quilter as my favorites.
But we
That
know
would
they
be funny
are.
if we all
I
did
mean,
that.
yeah.
And then we're going to show you a couple things that are favorite things that we've opened in some of our boxes so far. And then we'll talk a little bit about our Christmas plan / retreat, because we all get to be together in person really soon. And I'm really excited about that. So, Stephen, I'm going to let you start with your idea that you came up with.
Okay, so what with the channel? Okay,
Yes.
are we doing all three at once or one at a time and go around or what?
Let's do one at a time and go around. Yeah.
Okay, I think that'd be better. Okay, right off the bat, mine is not a quilting nor sewing one, but you know what other things I like to do. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know I'm into 3D printing. And so one of my favorite channels to go to is called the 3D Printing Nerd. And the reason I like this guy is because, well, he makes his living off of doing these videos on 3D printing. He has a whole studio that is not in his house. He actually has a rented space. And he goes to a lot of trade shows where they're doing all the latest innovations in 3D printing, but not just from the home hobbyist point of view, but from industrial. Like, did you know they can print houses using 3D printers? Like
I've heard
regular
that.
houses? And
I didn't know it until you showed me this and
yeah.
I watched it. I was amazed.
And they're now, he just showed one today, his latest video, where they're doing it for industrial applications. They're inventing machines that actually do 3D printing using the principles of welding with stainless steel and other metal products. And they make these huge things. The printer is the size of a room in there and will kill you. As well in there. So this is the future here. But if you want to know about 3D printing, or if you want to get your feet wet into it, it's not really so much tutorials as it is showing you the potential of this medium, which gets me always going and gives me ideas and things. So he's called the 3D Printing Nerd. And I think Stephanie has are you going to put it up in the chat or?
Yep, I did.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's in there.
All right. It's a delay on my end. I can see. Oh yeah, there it is. I see it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, if you've ever thought about getting into 3D printing, like Russ is going to do very soon, or wherever Russ is on the screen here now. Yeah, check it out.
Cool. All right, Walter, what's your first one?
Well, I have I have always had various interests outside of sewing. One of those is how to cook. So I have several cooking channels that I watch, but there's one that in particular, I picked called Food Wishes with Chef John.
I love that
And
channel.
and I have, and he also publishes his recipes under all recipes. If somebody looks up a recipe, a lot of the all recipe ones is his recipe. So anyway, I've cooked several things from from his. I like the way he presents how to cook a meal or whatever. It's more or less like this is what the ingredients are, and this is how I make it. But you can change the recipe based on your whatever your tastes are, type of thing, right? And
Because you
everything
are,
I've
after
made
all,
on
the
his
blank of your blank.
yeah,
Yeah.
every time I've tried to make something of his, or the ones that I've picked that I like, they've always come out really great. So I
Yes.
tend to watch that a lot. If I'm looking for something new to make, like there's one recipe, a Turkish kebab or whatever that I make, and that's really good. I did a Salisbury steak. I did several other, a Dutch baby I did.
Oh, what's
And
So Stephen
that?
several
does eat
others.
babies.
Hmm?
That's when you
I
get a
thought Stephen was the one
baby.
that
I
cooked
cooked a
babies.
Dutch
Yeah.
baby.
It was a special occasion. Baby back
Yeah,
ribs.
so
Delicious.
I've really enjoyed his videos, and when I'm like looking up a recipe or something like that, I often look up what's on his channel.
Yeah, very cool.
Highly
Russ, what's your
recommend
first
it.
one? Oh,
Yeah, Steve's had the result of some of those recipes. So
Turkey.
oh,
yeah, I mean, I've watched
Chicken.
other channels
Excellent.
too. Like there's other channels that I watch that are cooking channels as well. But that's the one that sort of is my go-to.
awesome. That one's in the chat for all of you guys if you want to check that out. So, Russ, what's your first one?
So my first one, I know there's zero doubt in anybody's mind that I'm a nerd. And I love mathy things. And there
Yes.
is this channel called Stand Up Maths. And he's an Australian living in London, and he does the wackiest things when it comes to numbers. Every year on the 14th of March, he finds a new way to calculate pi on Pi Day, and they do it all by hand. He's got videos out there that explains how weird things happen with numbers. And one of my favorite things that he has done, and apparently he's got this available, is an Excel spreadsheet that he's got the video, and he kind of just takes a magnifying glass, puts it on somebody's cell phone, and
Uh-huh.
that explains how really your cell phone, it's not showing you a dot that's really, orange. It's showing you a dot that is a combination of red and green, because it's got, each dot is actually made of the red, green, and blue pixels in there. And you can upload something into the spreadsheet so that when you zoom out, you have a photograph within Excel. I mean, I thought that was like the coolest thing, because it is able to divvy up the red, blue, and green. So he's got a lot of fun stuff. Love the craziness he does. He's as close to shenanigans with maths as I can find.
But I
So,
don't
Russ,
understand
oh,
why
sorry.
he does pi on March the 14th.
3.14.
Oh, so like May the 4th be with you and
Yes.
420. Okay, 420. Okay, I get it now.
Or
But
March 10th is Mario Day.
I should never forget that date, because the next most important date on March is the 15th, because you need to beware of
Yes,
the Ides
Ides of
of
March.
March. Don't go, Julie. Don't go.
All right. I love you to death. You know that, Russ? But yes, that was a nerdy channel.
It is interesting though. I did check it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
it sounds very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, it's just the crazy ways that he can do math and come up with some things. And he
Yeah.
explains like a lot of weird things that you're like, well, why is this happening? Like the elections in 2020, how everything looked like it was going one color, and how it ends up is able to shift to the other colors in different states.
Math hard.
Math
Math
very
hard.
hard.
Yeah. All right, I want to say hi to everybody in the chat really quick. And Designing J, who is Joanna, said the most important date is March 16th, so that must be her birthday.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it's not about you. It's about Julius Caesar, March the 15th, dead in the forum. Don't go, Julie.
Yeah. All right. So my first one is, and I'm a different kind of nerd. I really, really love to watch anything to do with courtroom stuff, police stuff, body cams. I know that's weird, but I just have always liked that. I grew up in a family of first responders, and I think that's part of it. And so my first one is actually one called Law Talk with Mike. And the thing I like about that one is that there is a ton of courtroom drama things all over YouTube. Um, but you have to kind of go find them individually where they'll show like a whole trial and maybe like 2 minutes of the trial, something crazy will happen. Well, this guy goes out and finds the clips and puts them all together. So you get these videos where you get these clips of these just crazy things happening in courtrooms, like people swearing at the judge and people just doing stuff. So I really like that channel, Law Talk with Mike. So that's my first one. So
I've heard it's not wise to swear at a judge.
no, it's not. They usually put them right in jail for that. So, yeah, not wise at all.
I used
So,
to always watch Judge Judy, though. I really loved her.
oh,
Oh, she was awesome.
I mean, I don't think real
yeah,
judges in real courts are like Judge Judy, but
I
they
think
could
she
be.
may be retired finally.
Oh yeah, I think so. She has to be about 3,000.
Oh,
So
yeah, I think
yeah.
so too. So, all right, really quick before we start our next round, I have a question for you guys. And I know this is kind of out of the blue, but do you have a favorite Christmas song? And it doesn't have to be, it could be either an old-fashioned one or it can be like a modern one.
Well, I have one,
You.
and I just saw a whole documentary about this song this afternoon on Netflix, and it is George Michael's or Wham's um uh Last Christmas.
Okay, that's a good
You're
song.
one
I
of
like that
those
song.
people.
Yeah, I am one of those people.
So you were excited when they released the video in 4K?
I didn't know they were releasing the video in 4K.
They did that a handful of years ago because they recorded the music video for Last Christmas actually on film. So all they had to do was just rescan all of the negatives into 4K, and they were able to release it on 4K. Audiences were all confused because one, they thought that they did AI up conversion or something. And then they were like, well, how did you do 4K if this is something from the 80s? And they had to go in there and explain, we shot this on film, which most music videos aren't shot on film. And in order to get it in 4K, all they had to do was just go rescan all the negatives.
Mm.
Can't see, we could disappear.
No, I had to. There, nerd.
Yes, I am. We've discussed that.
Actually,
But we love you so much. That is not an insult for us.
we're actually in the nerd club. Maybe we should have changed the name from Social Review to the Four Nerds. Here. But yeah, but I love that one. And also because I love the fashion in that video because yes, I did dress like that. Shoulder pads, flock of seagulls hairdo, and Walter had hair in those days too.
Oh,
Ask him about the afro, but that's for another time.
so
Me or
Walter, what
you?
about you? What's your favorite Christmas song?
Who, me?
Yes.
Or I don't know if I have one.
Yes, you do.
Which one?
Think of the school Christmas thing I did years ago, and the librarian doing with Santa.
Well, Santa Baby.
Oh yes.
Yeah, well, that's the
Oh,
one that sticks in my mind. Yeah.
Oh, well, it should because I'd never seen a strip show in a high school before with a librarian because she put on quite a little act to Santa Baby.
Actually, she would have, if she tried to do that, currently, she would have been fired for that.
yes.
Well, it was the early 90s then when
Yeah, now she'd be canceled.
of course I was dressed in gold lame doing a drag show. So
Singing "I'm Too Sexy for You."
Oh,
that's the
do you
one.
have that on film?
We did. I don't know if we still have that.
I don't know if I transferred that over from the VHS tapes.
I feel a show in Georgia coming on.
Oh yeah, I have to look for that.
All
I
right.
wasn't in that show.
No, we were working. It was a school
Oh,
day.
goodness.
Well, it's the
Yeah,
last
you
day.
were. Why weren't you wearing gold lame and a
I
long
was.
wig, well,
I
blonde wig?
was. And shoes to go with it. Yep.
All right, Russ, how about you? Do you have a favorite Christmas song?
Uh, one of my favorites is a classic, and back in my previous job, I made a complaint that it's not on many Christmas albums. It's one of those. It's a great song. I hate Whitney's version of it, but do you hear what I hear? I love how it
Oh,
goes like kind of soft and then expands and expands and expands.
yeah.
There's something confusing about it, but we're going to discuss that like in my Vlogmas episode.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll have to stay tuned to Russ's Vlogmas. So go on over to his channel. So one of my favorite Christmas songs is not my favorite because I've got a few, but I love the song "Someday at Christmas" by Stevie Wonder.
Oh,
I don't
that's
know
fun.
that.
It's such a good song, and it just it talks about, what's the most important thing, like peace on earth, and all that stuff. Nothing to do really with presents and all that, which is how I feel about Christmas. So yeah.
Actually, I should have said that was my second favorite. My favorite is roasting chipmunks on an open fire.
Oh Lord. So funny. All right. So Stevens, give us another one of your favorite YouTube.
Okay, well, since Walter brought up cooking shows, he likes Chef John. There's one that I really like because I also enjoy history, because I do have a minor degree sort of in history as well, and it's called Tasting History with Max Miller. And it is so good because he takes ancient recipes, he finds the recipes, he puts the history around them, and he recreates them, usually using modern methods and modern ingredients for them, of course, the equivalent. But it's really interesting, and he's really drop dead good looking. You know, tasting history, I will.
Okay, your husband is right here.
I will take a big
He's
bite out
allowed
of
to walk.
Walter. Oh, he's here yet. Should be careful. It's your anniversary tomorrow too. Oh, okay.
That's
I'll
right.
bite you.
That's
I'll
right.
bite you
Not
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Or Saturday. Saturday. Sorry. Yeah.
Duh.
I got my But anyways, it's called Tasting History with Max Miller. If you like history, if you like food and all that, it is a great channel.
Yeah, I've actually looked up that channel when you've mentioned it to me before this, like months ago, and it's a really good channel. So the guy's
It's
good
got
looking, yes.
like over 2 million subscribers
Yeah,
on it,
but
to the
he's
point
so
where
interesting, and he makes
yeah.
history very interesting. So
And I mean, he really does a lot of, you can tell he's done a lot of research and a lot of
mhm.
planning for his episodes. They're not just thrown together. They're very well constructed. He's a
Yeah,
professional.
yeah, they're very good.
Not like us,
All
yeah.
all right,
So
Walter, how about you? What's your next one?
Okay, one thing you'll know about me is I'm totally boring.
No, you're not.
I'm pretty, when I was younger, I came from a family that were really into electronics and things,
Mhm.
and I always was really into electronics. I was one of those ones that used to love looking at what Radio Shack had to offer in building kits and things like that, except I never did really build anything. Um, and like those books, I used to get these radio TV books that were like digests and that when I was a kid and look through
Mhm.
them and look at the build kits and for TV sets and things like that. So I watch a guy I really follow digital technology and television technology and radio and hi-fi stuff and all this other stuff. So I watch a show called Digital Trends by a guy called Caleb Dennison.
Mhm.
And he goes over all the new latest things with TV sets and with stereos and technology and speakers and all that other stuff. And I like keeping up on what's the latest trend on technology. And when CES happens every year, they get a report in from CES, and I like to hear about all the new stuff that is coming out. So, but that is the main channel I watch is this Digital Trends because I really like the guy. this Caleb Dennison and how he presents things.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's a little bit more technical than I want, but it's in a way that I like to understand. He's straight to the point. He doesn't chit chat about his life or anything like that. It's all about whatever he's reviewing. So I watch that all the time.
Very cool. That sounds like you, straight and to the point.
I mean, I'm sure it's boring for everybody else on this channel.
Yeah, he watches
I am
it all
just
the
not.
time.
But
I'm
I
just not
grew
a
up in a
techie
family
person.
where my dad had my parents had this elaborate stereo that my dad got, and my mom used to sit in the kitchen and record um,
The neighbor.
songs from the radio using a reel-to-reel tape recorder,
Oh,
stereo reel-to-reel tape recorder.
oh wow.
And then we had 8-track, high Pioneer 8-track tape recorders when we were in the 80s.
Oh wow.
And I had a Pioneer 8-track stereo in my car, in my first car, which was an orange Volkswagen Beetle.
My
And
grandmother had an 8-track in her van. I remember from when we were kids.
yeah, and I had these gigantic speakers in the back of my
Yep.
orange Volkswagen Beetle. So that's where my background is, and I've always gone through in technology. And even when I was first started working in 1978, I went out and bought a $1,200 VHS video recorder. I
Oh
was one of the
wow.
first people to own one of those. It didn't even have a wireless remote; it had a wired remote.
I remember that.
Oh
Yeah,
goodness. Grandma Tina, who's in the chat, said she had a reel-to-reel recorder when she was a teenager.
yeah.
I had one too when I
Yeah.
was like a teenager.
All right, Russ, what do you got?
So, nerd, yes. But there is this channel. The host of it is Ann Reardon, and it's called How to Cook That. The great thing about this is she's got a wide range of videos that she puts out. She will do debunking videos because, there's all those 5-minute craft videos that say, you could put Skittles and popcorn in a pan and pop up some kind of, that doesn't work. So she will debunk all of those, show why it doesn't work, and show how you could make some of those work, because that's what people want, is something successful. She helps do things successful. She does other things like she sees cake fails, where somebody tried to do something, it didn't come out how they expected, and she recreates the tragedy and brings back and says, if you did this, you could have something that would look successful. I know it's too late, but it gives people in the future inspiration. But one of my favorite things that they do, digging onto Stephen's tasting history, is she loves ancient cookbooks. And
Oh,
like, it's old cookbooks where it says, you got to put it on the fire, and and she uses the old tools to make these. So if something has to be blended, she blends using the tools of the day, and she has a great collection of antique tools that are used in the kitchen that she has resurrected and used to cook some stuff. And every year for Christmas, she does a pretty cool Christmas feast. So I'm looking forward to her video that should be coming out tomorrow and should be Christmas, if I am remembering right.
oh,
Yeah,
that
she's
sounds
great.
awesome.
And if
Yeah,
you like science, that she's
yes,
got to.
I think she's a food scientist.
I was going to say she's got to be a food scientist
Mhm.
because of But yeah, it's a great channel.
That's
Yeah,
really
geez,
neat. That
everybody
sounds really
likes
cool.
food channels.
Yeah, we're all.
Yeah.
I need a snack now.
Right.
So
All
what
right. Well,
about
really
you?
quick. But I was going to say, really quick before I do mine, I'm going to go ahead and pull a winner. And the prizes that we have tonight are courtesy of my friend Charisma Horton from Charisma's Corner. So thank you, Charisma. I don't know if you're out there watching, but she sent me a whole big box of patterns and goodies to give away to you guys. So I'm going to do that right now first. And let's
Oh,
see.
Denise.
Okay.
Denise B.
So Denise, congratulations, you're the winner. And I'm going to put my email in the chat. Please email me your name and your address, and I will send that out to you. So
Yay.
congratulations. And thank you for being here. Let's see. Okay, so my next one is kind of a silly one, and it's one of those that I kind of play in the background while I'm doing things. And it is a lawn care. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's a lawn care YouTube. But it's like one of those, the guy's name is Sean, and um I think he's Scottish or something like that. He's got an accent like that. And it's called Blade Mate Lawn Care. And he basically goes into these places that have been abandoned, like homes, and where the lawn is all grown up and the whole neighborhood looks good except for this one house. And he goes and he like shaves it all down and makes it look like a whole brand new place. And I don't sit and watch them except like I might have it on the TV in the background while I'm doing things. It's just really neat to see the end result. So that's just something silly and fun
Before,
that I just,
after, that's all I really need.
Does he
yeah.
wear a
So it's,
kilt? Does he wear a kilt when he's doing
you
this?
know, I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
would hope not, because I think that would hurt if you got some of that stuff in there.
Well, I just, thought curiosity.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of those lawn channels out there,
there
and
are. There's a ton of them. And
they
I
get
like this guy
some
just because I
mad
like,
ad revenue.
yeah, I like this guy because I like his voice. And he's
Uh-huh.
just got a soothing voice. So I'll just put it on while I'm long arming or sewing and just, I don't really
Does
pay
he
attention
talk through
except,
the video, or is it he talks at the beginning, then it's a montage, and then talk at the end?
correct. Yep.
Okay,
That's exactly how it is. He'll talk about what they're going to do and then they'll do it. And you'll hear like the lawnmowers. So if you like that kind of background noise, and then he'll show you the end result. So
nice.
yeah, yeah.
So he
So
doesn't
that's
get
kind of fun.
into a Scots accent saying, "Hey, weed, I don't know where you been, but we're going to get you off. This is no time for Outlander."
I love that show. Okay, I just have to
I
say
knew you would.
that. All right, Stephen, you're up.
Okay, so this is the next one. All right, so my next one is actually one that's related to sewing. And if everybody has seen the interview I did just this week with Cornelius Quiring, his last name is a hard one to say. I had to ask him how to say it because I was calling him Queering, and it's not, it's Quiring
Yeah.
on that. But he is a fantastic sewist, um, all self-taught, and he has such a personality on camera. It's entertaining and informative, and he has this cowboy hat that he wears all the time. And if you see the interview I did this week with him, I asked him why he has the cowboy hat. So the answer's there. So, and if you haven't seen the interview yet and you don't know who I'm talking about, you need to check him out because, like I said, he is a character. He has a great personality, though, that shines through on his videos, and he knows what he's doing. And he doesn't talk about the mundane things. Like first video I ever saw of his, he had a seam gauge. You know, the old black little thin ruler with the little
Uh-huh.
on it. He explained. He actually did two videos on it. Why we've been using it wrong and when it was invented and how it was invented and how to use it for so many more things. For example, did you know there's a little hole in the ruler itself? That's for drawing circles. And you wait
Oh,
in that little pointy part that you mark the thing, there's a little teeny hole in it. You put that at, say, the 1 or 2 inch mark. You put it down, you put a pin. There's another hole in it at one end. You put a pin in that as your pivotal point, and you put your pencil in that little hole, lined up to whatever the measurement is, and that's you'll get like a 2 inch circle or a 3 inch circle. But there's all kinds of other things that that little gauge does that, most of us just figured it's for hemming, right? You just
yeah,
mark your hem. And then he went back and revisited it again because he found out more information about it. It is one, you'll never look at that little thing again the same way. It's probably the most valuable tool you have in your toolbox for your sewing. So yeah, check him out. He's really, really good.
yeah. That sounds awesome. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, go to Stephen's channel and watch the interview.
Yeah.
All right, Walter.
Okay, so another thing that I'm really interested, always been really interested in is cars, different kinds of cars. I mean, I grew up in Oshawa. Oshawa was GM capital of North America, so all the kids were into cars when I grew up, right? Yeah, but my dad was on to cars. My dad used to watch car racing. And he didn't watch any kind of sports, but all he ever did was watch car racing. So from that background, I always was interested in cars and just sort of followed on the different kinds of cars that existed. And I could pick out which car is which on the road type of thing, which is totally opposite of what Stephen is, because Stephen can't tell you which car is which on the road. If he sees a red
It goes
car,
vroom
he
vroom.
says, "Oh, that's a nice red car. What's that?" And I'll say, "Oh, it's a Corvette." Or
Oh.
or something like that, or it's a Ferrari or something like that.
He plays games with me. We'll come out to get in the car after we've been at someplace like Costco, and I don't know one car from another one. So I'm walking around and he's purposely waiting to see if I get in the wrong car.
Yeah.
Because I have done that before. And then he giggles and runs away.
Totally different car than the one I have. It could even be a different color, right?
Well,
Like,
it's
I mean,
four wheels.
I used to have a red Nissan Frontier truck, which is a small red truck, right?
Uh-huh.
It's a small sized red truck. And we'd walk out of the grocery store and he tried to get in a Ford F-150 truck, which is a totally different size. It could be red, but that's about the only thing that was saying.
Or
So
the
anyway, I
other
watch
thing
the channel and they review cars on it, and they're actually Canadian. They're located out in BC, and they have like a question and answer period. And they come on as Motor Mouth. It's a husband and wife team. They both review the cars. They'll drive them. They'll get, of course, like freebie cars to check out. And they'll have like people send them in questions, and it's a question and answer thing, and they'll talk about it, and they talk about, like electric cars and hybrids and everything else, and give you their positives and negatives of each car. And I like watching them. I like the way they interact with each other and things like that as well. So I've been watching them for a couple of years now, and pretty much every week I tune in and listen to what they have to say that week about cars. So,
And I'll tell you how nasty he is about cars. We went to the grocery store. This is several years ago, a few years ago now. And I just need to run in to get something. So he was still in the car. I went into the grocery store. I came out and I didn't know that he had moved the car. And
I parked in a spot, and there was there was a car in front of me in the spot, right? So I pulled with that car left, and I pulled through, so it'll be easier for me to drive back out again, right?
So
Yeah.
when I walked out, I walked to the general spot where it was, and I wasn't paying any attention. I think I was looking at something in my hand or whatever. And I opened up a car door and I got in and I closed the door and I look over in the driver's seat and there's a woman sitting there. And she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, and then there were some kids in the back. And right then and then my mind should have gone, I'm in the wrong car. No, my mind went, when did we get kids in this? And I looked at her and went, I'm in the wrong car. I'm so sorry. And she started to laugh. She thought it was hilarious. And the thing was, it wasn't even a car like his. I had to step up to get into it. It was a SUV.
The car I'm driving is a Honda CR-V that's a teal color, right? It's a teal color. It's a van that pulled up behind me. It's a van. Like, I'm not sure if it was a Chrysler van or a GM van, but it was a van. And it was red in color. It wasn't even the same color.
I'm glad the lady had a sense of humor. That's all I can say.
Yeah. You're lucky she didn't hit you with her purse or something.
I'm glad I didn't get in there and go, you'll never guess what you like that. No, okay.
Why did you move the car I got?
But it was his fault. He moved the car on me on purpose. He did.
Here's the good news, Stephen. When you come to the States, you guys have like the only Canada license plate.
But that won't matter. That won't matter. He's even tried to get into a car that's similar to mine that has a baby seat in it or something.
And I thought to myself, when did we get the baby seat? Is there something
He was
Mulder
looking
isn't
for
telling me?
breakfast.
See, I noticed he was getting a little heavier. I didn't realize he was pregnant.
Oh gosh. Too funny. My face hurts. Okay, Russ.
Okay, Russ, you're going out now, aren't you? Come on, Russ. Tell us another
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Oh, it's a total nerd video, nerd channel.
Nerd alert.
So, what bigger nerd can you get than a NASA engineer who helped land the Mars Curiosity rover? I mean, that is the best. And he goes from there with his engineering stuff and expands it onto, making the world's largest rockets and stuff and setting world records and seeing how much, squirrels love their nuts and builds obstacle courses for them. And he has even gone so far as to put porch pirates to bay and like planting bait with glitter in it and fart bombs. So the channel is Mark Rober. He really is a NASA scientist. And he is the crazy cool uncle that everybody wants. And I wanted to be until I realized it's a lot of work to be a crazy cool uncle. So I love his videos. He did a series for like 3 or 4 years in a row on porch pirates and like trying to keep people from stealing it. So he takes a box and he puts like a GPS in it so he can recover the box. And when the person steals it and they lift it up, it ends up spewing glitter all over the place, doing fart bombs, and claims it's about to self-destruct and explode. And just watching people run, because he's got cameras in it too.
Watching the people run is the funniest part because they
Yes.
run and they trip and everything else because
Yep.
they're trying to get away from the bomb.
Yep.
I've
And,
watched
like,
him too. He's good.
I-
He's
I
hilarious.
love his squirrel videos too. Fat Gus was my favorite.
Yep. I watched those ones. I love those
But
too.
just the obstacle courses, I'm like, what makes you think to do this is the other thing. And like his company's got a subscription box that I really want, but I'm like, I don't know if it's wise for me to make that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing because it looks really interesting, the projects and everything,
Yeah,
right? Oh my
yeah.
God. I'm a
Everything
nerd.
just looks so cool. His energy levels and yeah, everything it's just like
Oh,
so
Lord. So
yeah, he
everybody
doesn't
in the chat
publish
looks
many
like they're
videos, but
laughing.
when he does, I'm hooked.
Everybody in the chat looks like they're laughing. And Karen actually said she can't see through the tears. So there you go. All right. So I'm going to pick another winner before I get on to my last one. So
Yay,
let's do
winner.
that. And oh, it's not ready yet. All right. Hold on. We'll do my last one, then we'll come back to that. All right. So my last one. Oh, I got to get back to here. My last one is not super funny like that one. Mine's actually a history channel. It's called Timeline. It's called the Timeline channel, and it's actually a history channel, like a documentary type history channel. And I'm really into specifically World War II history. And they had some videos on there that intrigued me, and then they've got other things too. And I started watching them and kind of went down the rabbit hole. So I love history. I majored in history and English literature, so that's another one of my favorite things. So
Did you on that timeline? I watched that one too, and there was one really interesting one. It was, I don't know if it was in Philadelphia at the turn of the last century or whatever, but something to do with molasses being in big containers and the bolts let go and the molasses, or I don't know if it was molasses or something really, really sticky, a food product of some sort. And people were actually getting trapped in it and they died in it
Yeah.
because they couldn't get out in it. It was like a tsunami of this sticky stuff on it.
yeah,
But the kind of stuff this guy has on there.
Wasn't that in
Really interesting.
Boston?
Yeah, that's right. It was
yes,
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I knew there was a reason why it smelled sweet there, and it's not just a Necco factory.
Yeah.
Hold up
I've
your
walked by
sign,
the
Stephen.
Necco
Hold up your
factory.
sign.
Smells so
Yeah.
good. I have
Oh, God.
so much useless information in my head.
I know, but Russ, that's why we love you. I love hearing all your facts.
And it's only gotten one trivia question thrown out.
Well, you know
Not bad.
something. We never talked to each other before this about what we were picking, but we
Mm-mm.
do
Right.
have a common thread. We all like cooking. We all seem to like history. We all like things that have to do with science and math, and only Walter likes cars. Who's the nerd award? Walter. Walter.
Right?
Wait, what's on the screen on size? My screen's
Depends on
different.
what screen you're on. Your box is on YouTube. You're in a different spot.
Yeah, I know, me too. Mine, it's different spot too. Oh well, it's a nerd
All
thing. Let's
right.
get that math guy to figure that out. Okay.
Right?
He will tell you how many permutations of screens you can have.
Yeah.
So I
So,
picked another winner, and Candace Johnson, you're the winner. So
Hey,
congratulations.
hey,
Candace.
Candace.
And
Candace.
make sure you
Hey.
email me. I put my email there in the chat. I'll be looking forward to all your emails so I can get these out to you. So, all right. Next thing is another thing that Stephen convinced us today to do. So I'm going to let him
I
talk about
told
that.
them they had to do it. They
Yeah.
think it's convincing.
Steve tells us to do
Yeah,
things.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Volin
He
tells
doesn't give
us.
us a choice.
Okay, so what I thought might be kind of fun is that all of us have been doing unboxings, of course. Who hasn't been? 'Tis the season for Christmas things. And I thought it might be good for us to show one item that we got out of a Christmas box, whether it's a Missouri Star quilt or one of the other boxes, or in Walter's in my case, we opened together the Kawartha Quilting Santa Sack, or as I like to call it, it was an unbagging. Do with that what you will, people, and talk about what one item we liked. So that's what we're going to do. And Walter, let's start with you.
Okay. What I really liked was the light up seam ripper.
Oh, it looks like,
It's
is
like
it
a
double like a
lightsaber.
lightsaber?
No, yeah, it lights up
That's cool.
so that you can see where your stitches are.
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of quilters, it probably doesn't really matter because you probably do usually use white or gray or something like that. But for me, I'm always sewing with dark fabrics and that, and I match my fabric with my clothes. And if I have to rip something out, a lot of times I can't see where the stitches are on my project.
Yeah.
So this actually makes a big difference for me. Plus, all my other seam rippers are round, and I put them on the desk and they always roll off. And this,
And if they roll
and
off
this
his
one
desk onto
isn't.
his
This
floor,
one's
they'll never find it.
square. So I really like this.
Yeah.
And
And it was
actually,
really handy.
and I have been using it. And Walter was saying it might be better for sewers than quilters. Actually, I use it too because I don't have that great of eyes to start with, and I never have enough light, no matter what,
Yeah.
in that. And it really does work. In fact, I poo-pawed it. When I pulled it out of the Kawartha Santa Sack, oh, I got another seam
Yeah,
ripper.
because you thought it was just a plain old seam ripper.
Yeah, but even once I
Oh.
figured out that it lit up, I thought, oh yeah, really gimmick. I'll never use it. Well, then I thought I'd give it a try. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I highly
And
recommend
so
it.
I had to fight Steve for whether I wanted this today or
Yeah.
him.
So,
Okay.
Walter, you were talking about, it's getting difficult to see if you have your matching stuff. A number of years ago, like probably 5 or 6 years ago now, Mom was complaining when she was working with black yarn, crocheting, that it was difficult. And I found some light up crochet hooks that were in various sizes, and she loved those to pieces. So it is, I can see any light up tool. It seems like a gimmick, but
It's bright, isn't it, Walter?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
It is
pretty
bright.
bright.
Yep.
Actually, Karen made a comment and she said, Walter, you could help land a plane with that light.
True.
It is very bright.
So yeah, that's a good item in there. So Stephanie, you've opened a pile of different things during this
Yeah.
Vlogmas. So what do you have?
Well, mine's not a seam ripper because I'm practically perfect in every way and I don't need one.
Yes, we know that.
But actually, I've opened a lot of things and I was looking through all the things that I got, and I know, thank you. Quilt nerd. Um, and I just got a package the other day from our good friend Julie, who comes to our Wednesday sew days, and she goes to, Stephen's virtual retreats and all those things. She's a really lovely lady, and you guys have met her on my channel if you've come to some of my Saturday lives because she's sewn with us. She was sick, unfortunately, this last time that we did the dragon fruit block of the month, but normally she does that with us as well. She sent, she was the sweetest thing. She sent me a package, Russ a package, Stephen and Walter a package, which I have here at my house for you guys. Um, but in that, she sent, there was fabric, there was patterns, but the one thing that I really, Stephen knows this because he made me a whole wall hanging with it, but I love snowmen. Love, love snowmen. They're my favorite thing for the winter because they can go through Christmas, winter, and they're just so happy. And in my package was this adorable snowman.
Oh,
Now,
cute.
he is a needle minder, but he's big enough and strong enough to hold scissors. So I'm going to use him in my crocheting and in my cross stitch and put needles and scissors on there. So, but he's just so cute. I just love him. He's probably my favorite thing I've opened this year.
And who's he by? Like who makes
By
those?
Lori Holt.
Oh, it's a Lori Holt. Okay.
And this is what he looks like off the card.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's adorable. So cute. And I just love it. That's my favorite thing so far.
In the Santa sack from Course of Quilting, we got a needle minder as well that you could wear.
Okay.
But I don't hand sew, as everybody well knows. I could just see I'm wearing it up here, needle in the heart.
Poke yourself while you're trying to stick it on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Look,
well,
Yeah,
I was thinking if
blood
you
out
had
of
it
my
on,
foot.
you'd forget, and then you'd go out and have a needle stuck to you.
I do
Oh,
that
I've
with
done that
my
with scissors before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Scissors you wear around your neck. I've gone out
Yep.
with them and I go, oh, I've got my scissors. Okay,
Nice.
anybody need something sewn here? Can help. So yeah, well, that's very nice. Julie is such a sweetheart.
Oh,
She
she is.
a,
Yeah.
a perpetual ray of sunshine. Every time she's on our sew days or the pop-up, she just comes in. She's so energetic and's got so much life in her. I want what she's on. I
I
really
know,
do.
me too.
Whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
just love that woman.
Yeah.
Russ, what's yours?
Me. So I've been opening just the Missouri Star box, and yeah, tomorrow's is my favorite so far, but I can't tell you about that. So I'm gonna have to go with my second favorite, which was these really awesome quilt builder card deck. I do have the other decks that are in here, but I have loved playing with these, just throwing out a handful on a bed and saying, okay, what kind of quilt can I make if I wanted to make a quilt right now? And everything is in black and white, so you don't have to decolorize it in your head, because that's a big thing that people have is, well, I can't see this in another color, but if you see it in black and white, then you are putting your own colors in.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of those different ones too, the boxes. And I'll have to say that I don't use them that much, but I should use them more often because honestly, I forget I have them. And
Yeah,
and I'll often go over to
that's my problem too.
E8. But when I made my first pattern, I actually did use those. I was just playing, throwing things down, and it eventually evolved into When Stars Collide, but quilt with it. But yeah, they're great for inspiration. I love them.
Yeah.
Too. And there's a lot of them, as you've said. So what? There's how many boxes in the set
There
now?
are 3 regular boxes and a Christmas box.
Yeah.
And
then
isn't there
now
one
the
that's just
Missouri
half
Star box.
square? Isn't there one that's just a short box? It says I'm looking at it over
Oh,
there.
yeah, I think
Just half
Shannon does
squares or
have that.
something.
I've seen
Yeah,
that.
I think you're right, Stephen. Yep.
Yeah, I think I got that I don't know where I got it. I must have bought it, or stole it. I don't know, one or the other. One of my late fingers day. But yeah, those are great. Okay, so mine is from the Course of Santa Sack, and this is one I looked at and went, yeah, right. And you will notice that I have used them. There were 3 sheets of them, and they are numbers and letters, and they're by GE Designs. I can never say her name, but
Gudrun Erla.
yeah, hers. And the idea is you stick these on your clips, and when you're cutting your fabric, and you know how say, okay, these pieces of fabric are A piece or number one piece, and the patterns will often refer to them. Well, I used to put sticky notes on with my little wonder clips, and the sticky notes curl up or drop off or don't stick, and you get mixed up anyways. So just before I got these, and this was a complete coincidence, I decided to take my bigger clips, and I was, oops, okay, get it in here over this way. I was writing with a Sharpie on them,
Oh.
number and stuff. And the Sharpie doesn't come off. It's permanent Sharpie, so you don't have to worry about it smudging and getting it on your fabric. But then when I saw these, thought I'd give them a try. Well, I'm so excited. I'm using them on everything. And this is just a small portion of the ones I have because a lot of them are in the kits I'm bringing to the retreat. But the other thing that's really great about these is not just numbers and letters. And I don't know if you can see this, but this one line, they have measurements. So like 2 inch, 2 1/4 inch, 2 3/4 inch.
Oh.
And so when I cut my fabric, what I can do is if it's fabric A and it's 2 inch squares, I will put 2 clips on my little bundle. So I know what there. And I mean, it may be very obvious that something is a 2 inch square, but you know, sometimes you cut 2 inch or 2.5 inch and 3 inch. So you can mark them with that. And I find that really helpful. And actually, I put those on the longer wonder clips, you know, the ones that are a little bit longer, and that works really well with that. And then there's more because she includes down here where you see these black lines, those are blank ones, and you can use like a fine tip Sharpie on it and write your own stuff. So I have my scrap pieces of fabric that I want to keep together with everything. I just clip them all together and it says scrap on it. And so they're in the bucket. It's a great organizational thing. And I just found out today she has ones to go on the stripology rulers as well to mark. So when we're down there, I'm going that quilt store we'll go to. I'm hoping that they have more of these because I'd have to order them from her actual website. Amazon doesn't have them. I looked, and my quilt store didn't have them because I checked that today. And well, ordering stuff from the States, you know, well, now the postal strike is sort of over, so it might not be so bad once the American Postal Service decides that they can send stuff to Canada again, because they put a hold on that, I believe.
I think it's the 23rd. Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so I really like those. I think those were pretty much next to the light up seam ripper. These were my favorite with all of that.
And
Okay.
both of them you sort of like criticized when you got it, right?
Yeah, I did. I looked down and went, yeah, right, I'll never use these. No, I want more. I want more.
Yeah.
Give me more.
I love those tools where you're like, I'll never use this, and then you use it, and it's like, okay, I need one in this color, and this color, and this color.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes. But you know, that's what somebody said one day. I think it might have been on our sew day. They said what they liked about watching the unboxings and everything of the Christmas stuff, it gave them ideas and informed them about things they had never seen before or had never thought of, or even gives them ideas of how to, they may have that item, but they put it in the back of a drawer and never got it out and used it. I find it does that for me as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's with any of the unboxings, not just like the Advent one, but like the Fort Worth Fabric Studio box or the Sew Sampler box, just all of those. You get something, and in some cases you're like, well, I'll never use this because like there was that horrible, horrible ruler that time that I will never touch. But then there was also some stuff where I thought, oh, I'd never use this, and I find myself using it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I found too.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there something else you wanted
all right, so I'm gonna do another giveaway. Okay, it's not gonna let me for a second, so gotta hold on a minute. It has like a timer thing, I think, or something. So, all right, so while we're waiting for that to click in or whatever, let's go through really quick. And I know I know all your plans because they're all with me, but coming up. But up until retreat, what are y'all plans doing for Christmas or leading up to Christmas? Do you guys have any plans?
Russ, you want to?
So my family's up in Massachusetts, Whoville to be exact. I've talked about that before. And because there's that chance of snow, I refuse to go up there, especially since, I have to get back here for Stephanie's retreat. So on Monday, I sent my sister up her box of goodies for Christmas. And on Tuesday, she sent her stuff down to me. My stuff has already arrived to her. Her stuff's not going to get to me till Saturday because she shipped, UPS, and I went FedEx, and FedEx has a sexier guys.
So we've heard from you before.
So she and we will open up gifts on Zoom on Christmas Day. So that's going to be that. I am recording a very special episode on Saturday. And I understand when you hear very special episode, you're thinking, Arnold might be at the bicycle shop or Cherry might be stuck in a refrigerator, but it's not that kind of special episode. So that's going to be recorded Saturday for release probably sometime in the next week after that. I had to figure out when. And yeah, and then spending some time over with Stephanie.
Yeah.
Well, we have been very, very busy this last week because we're getting everything together for the retreat, of course. And tomorrow we have got our family Christmas with my sister at her place for dinner. So that's going to be fun. And
And
on
Saturday, it's our anniversary.
Saturday is our 41st anniversary.
Oh,
Yep.
happy anniversary.
Happy
That's
anniversary.
amazing.
And we can't get what we usually have. We don't go out for our anniversary. We used to usually go, but this time of the year is a bad time to go with it. So we're going to stay at home, and because we're pagans, we're going to get naked, run outside around a Christmas tree, and no, that's enough about that. No,
I
we
heard
used
something about biting earlier.
bite. Yes, well, do some of that too. We usually have champagne. We have our champagne. We have a couple of bottles of that. And we have a nice leisurely dinner. Walter cooks it. But we usually have lobster tails. And we love the frozen lobster tails you get at Costco at this time of the year. We've gotten them the last few years, not this year. We cannot. We went there again today to see if they had any of them in. No, none. Now they had some fresh ones, but I'm always leery about because I am not a seafood lover.
Actually, they look like they're the Caribbean ones, and we like the actual Canadian ones or from that area. And
Gotcha.
they just don't have them this year. So
No.
and the one I don't like the Caribbean ones because Steve and I are really picky about if they're even just a little tiny bit fishy.
Yeah, we head for the hills.
I don't like them. So and you go out and spend all that money on them, and then you don't like them, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
Then the rest of the week leading up to when we leave to get to Dahlonega, we've got like tons of things we got to get done before then. So
we have appointments and things that it's all this last minute stuff that happens this time of the year that you have to get out of the way. So it'll be on Christmas Day we leave for down there the trip. We'll be leaving on Christmas Day. That's why we're going to my sister's. Because that was it in her family schedule. My nephew and niece are both grown adults living in her basement. But kind of a thing. They're tied up with their jobs and everything like that. So it's the only time we could actually do it. And so it is a bit of a crunch, but we got to do it. It's family. So yeah. And everything else.
Now, there aren't that many days to go before we leave.
No, I mean,
no.
Yeah.
6 days, I think, right?
Yeah.
6 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So, yep. So we'll be on the road.
I don't know about you guys, but it's supposed to get really cold this weekend.
It's already cold. I stepped out before I came down here this evening, and it got really cold. I mean, it's been unseasonably warm the last few days. Like we've been in the Fahrenheit 50s, 40s, and 50s, which for Ohio this time of year is unheard of.
It got up to
But
70.
I stepped outside, and it felt like it dropped 20 degrees, and we're supposed to get some snow overnight. So
so are
it's
we.
definitely the cold is coming, but I'm hoping for our sake that the
Yeah.
snow holds off until we get south.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till we
Yeah.
get south of Lexington or whatever. That seemed to be
Yeah.
the barrier there. But
Yep.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to -16 on the weekend.
Whew,
So that's
that's
whatever.
cold.
that's -16 Celsius.
Celsius, yeah.
So
But it's
that's
still
about
cold.
2 degrees below zero.
Yeah.
At 1630. Yep, that's 2 degrees below
Yeah.
zero Fahrenheit.
Yikes.
So yeah, I see. But yeah, so and I don't know. It's just it's a whirlwind time. So
Yeah.
we will start to relax once we get down to Delana. Maybe before I'll probably go to sleep in the car. No, I try not to. I'm usually at Walter's other eyes
That's
because
okay. I usually poke him if you start sleeping.
usually I poke him when I say, look at the front of the road. Look at the road. There's a car. There's a car. It's coming up quick. Don't move. Brake, brake. I have an imaginary brake on my side of the car.
Yeah.
He's always saying, are you pushing your brake again? I go, no, I'm
That's
perfectly
funny.
calm. I'm perfectly calm. Yeah. But
So the
anyways,
next winner that it pulled was Karen Cox. So congratulations, Karen. You know where I am. So email me. So yeah, for me, it's just busy time getting ready for the retreat, which I'm really excited about. Russ is going to be there. Stephen and Walter are going to be there. Our friend Ingrid, who is here in the chat that sews with me sometimes on my channel, she's going to be there, and a bunch of other people. So I'm really excited to see everybody. I've got to finish getting everything ready for my kids for Christmas. I'm almost there, so that's good. And then after I leave the Georgia retreat, I'm going off to Texas. So I've got a very whirlwind situation going on. I'm going to be busy. So, but it's going to be fun, and it's coming up so quick, and I'm so excited. I also leave on Christmas Day. I'm going to stop and see my grandmother who just turned 95 years old.
Oh,
On my way to see Stephen and Walter, and then drive down to Tennessee the next day and then on to Georgia. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. And
it
I
is.
can't wait to see you guys in person.
It's going to be screaming. Yeah, we can't wait to go again. Though we had such a good time last year. That's why we're going again this year. It's
Yeah.
becoming our Christmas tradition. Well,
Yeah.
we don't, besides my sister and her husband and the kids, that's my family.
I mean, like I used to go visit my sister too. I might see her in the next couple of days, but the last well, obviously last year and then this year I'm not spending time with them. She goes off and spends time with her son anyway and their grandkids. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would just mean Christmas Day anyways. If we were home for it, Walter and I would probably be just sitting there staring at each other. And
you
So
can do
better
that in
to
the
have
car.
squeezed cheese and wine with your friend in Ohio.
that's right. And especially the wine with the spider in it. That's
Right.
always that's a good wine. That just makes you want to crawl the walls.
Extra protein.
Yeah, extra crispy. How do you like your wine? Extra crispy. And of course, I am sure while we're down there, we will probably be going to a Chick-fil-A at some point.
I'm
Not on
sure.
Sunday.
Not on Sunday. No, we know
Not on Sunday, no. But we'll have to go with Russ another day for sure.
I
Yeah.
love
We have to
them.
go back to shenanigans.
Yes.
oh,
Yes. Yes, definitely. All right. Before we go, Russ, do you want to talk real quick about what you have going on in your channel? Because I know you have a few things coming up.
So, still working on Vlogmas. We got, a few more days left, going all the way up to Christmas. This Saturday, I'm just going to do another Vlogmas recap video because I'm trying to catch up on a few other things that need to be done before Christmas. Even though I had everything shipped, I still got a couple of things that's left. So I am doing just another Vlogmas recap. Weekly vlog comes out on Wednesdays, which this week is going to be Christmas Day. So I haven't quite figured out what we're getting for a weekly vlog yet, although I have now decided it's going to be a traditional vlog because I have some really weird Mandela effect stuff going on right now that is blowing my mind.
I saw your Facebook thing.
Yes.
I
All
don't
right,
understand.
sorry. Stephen and Walter, what do you guys have coming up? I know you've got a couple fun things coming up.
Yeah. Well, we've got So Chatty tomorrow. which will come up later in tomorrow afternoon. And not really sure what we're talking about on that one. Well, I sort of know, but it's going to be kind of a mishmash of all kinds of things. We're kind of done with series for this year, but we'll be starting up some new ones come the new year. Then, of course, on Sunday, we have Stephen and Walter live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And, well, I'm not going to say too much about it, but we have a very interesting one little segment on it. I want to talk about, how do I put it mildly? Someone who I want to unnave from the seam to the chops. But you'll find out all about that then. And then, yeah, that's it because well, I'll have my usual vlog on Monday, and I'll have my usual episode of Idiot Quilter on Tuesday, and then the next couple of weeks it's going to be who knows what's going to happen. We have a few things planned though while we're down in Dahlonega with all four of us.
Yes, yes. So I wanted to say there's a few people in the chat that are going to be at the retreat. Karen just said, I'll see you at the retreat. We're really looking forward to seeing you too. Karen is a newcomer to our retreat this year, so it's going to be fun to meet her. And Joanna's coming back, and there's several of you here. So thank you for being here today. Can't wait to see you. And I can't believe it's a week. Oh, like a week's time. So,
Yeah.
and let's see, coming up on my channel, I'm still doing Vlogmas. I got behind a couple days, but I got caught up. It's just a crazy time right now. And Vlogmas is hard. It's hard to make a video every day.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but I'm doing it and getting there. But this Saturday, live on my channel, live at 5, Russ is going to be on my channel, and we're going to be sewing the
Bumbleberry pie.
Thank you. It left my brain for a minute. Bumbleberry pie block of the month. So we've got too many block of the months, Russ, I think.
Yeah, and I'm picking up another one next month.
I know you are. I think we're a little crazy. But Bumbleberry Pie block of the month, we're going to do that this Saturday at live at 5 p.m. Yes, we're nerds.
Nerd.
Thank you, Stephen. And then just the video, the Vlogmas running up through Christmas. And then, like Stephen was saying, we don't know what day or what time. We can't tell you. So make sure you're subscribed to all of our channels. But at some point, we're going to pop on from Dahlonega and share our fun with you for a little bit. And it'll be the 4 of us live, and maybe we'll have a special guest or two. So check it out. We'd love to have you come on over with us, and we want to share the retreat with you because it's going to be a blast. So I think if that's all we've got, I'm ready to say goodnight to everybody. How about you guys?
Yep, I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, if we don't see you, Merry Christmas. Have a safe, wonderful holiday, and have a happy new year. But hopefully we'll see you on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Merry holidays,
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.